a field of 192, which consisted of 90 pros and 102 amateurs. Tish Johnson, Aleta Sill will bowl for the 92 U.S. Open.
And they were having a little fun out there at the start of the match.
They sure were. Now let's see how much fun they have now. Tish Johnson just bouncing all over the approach. I'd say she's got the enthusiasm for this match. How about you?
She does, but this time she's going to sit down and say, control that adrenaline.
Two completely different types of players. Aleta Sill, a real practitioner, a technician, somebody that just finds a mark and does nothing but walk up and hit it shot after shot after shot, and she leaves a 10-pin on the opening offering. And you will not see much emotion from Aleta Sill.
No, at the opposite end of the spectrum. But I think we will if she wins tonight.
A player that's had all sorts of physical problems with tendons in her wrist. Took 3 weeks off. Wasn't even sure she was going to get a chance to bowl. You see a beautiful trophy there that will be awarded just a few minutes from now, along with a wonderful jacket and a check for $18,000.
Aleta had some strained tendons in her arm and has been getting electronic stimulation and ultrasound, taking a lot of Motrin, just trying to be able to bowl. This is only her second event of the year. And she has 9 titles from that top seed position, but the last one back in 1989.
A terrific front runner. Came out this morning with a 150-pin lead and just kept on shooting those 220s and ended up extending the lead over Tish Johnson as she strikes in the second frame.
That's right, never gave anything away.
You know, players out here could take a lesson from Aleta in terms of once you get ahead, how you stay ahead. Inside her mark, and trouble for Tish Johnson on the right-hand lane.
And she had been sending it wide. She's going to make sure she doesn't do it on this shot. Actually setting it a little earlier than she had been, pulling it inside her target, coming up high, and this is a difficult spare. She needs to try and take out the 2-pin and the 8-pin with the ball.
Not easy,
yes, ask and ye shall receive.
And that was the first ball that went high. She had been playing around the 10th board, set that one down 12 to 11, so she did pull it 2 boards inside of her target. And she picked up that spare, not exactly the textbook way.
That was the street version. More direct, gets the hammer out on lane 53. Now let's see if the top seed can come through with a strike here and take the lead in this match. Ranked in the top 5 in career earnings. And all of a sudden, Aleta Sill looks back and says, I'm not too happy about the rack on 54. I think I'll try another.
She wants to make sure she carries this shot. It'd be a double to give her the lead.
That looks like the pocket's a little bit closed there, didn't it?
A little bit.
Good pocket for a right-hander, but not good for a left-hander.
Exactly right.
With a double and the lead. That was a very nice shot.
And we saw some reaction out of her there. She's playing also around the 10th board, hitting very hard, all pins straight back. She said carry. Yes. She's giving some back there.
Yeah, a little bit, huh? She usually saves that for the 9th and the 10th. But after all, this is the U.S. Open. More loft on this shot. And a little slap of the hands as well. So Aleta Sill has gotten Tish Johnson's attention here early on in the title match.
And there we saw Aleta was also playing about the same area as Tish, but going out 1 board, 10 to 9 and back. A little bit more arc.
Back at you.
Oh,
on the other side.
Once again, just
second. Brooklyn and a pat on the back, although she's patting her own back. There's Debbie Takahara, who is the 1991 Miss Fountain Valley, and her reign, I think, is up shortly sometime in May, but celebrities and the stars out for this one tonight at the U.S. Open. Oh,
no.
no.
No,
Not
that's-
the solid 9-pin in the U.S. Open.
And she
I
says
think Tish is
payback.
good.
Should have gave me that Brooklyn,
Got
but
paid
I've
back.
just been paid back.
Yep.
Yeah, that stubborn 9-pin is a...
And this, one of the best shots a left-hander can make. Pretty much straight up 10. Solid into the
Yeah, the
pocket.
ball
Ball
went
driving
right
too hard,
past
leaving
it.
the 9-pin.
Playful animation from the 15-time winner, Tish Johnson, who really threw a great shot there.
And Aleta, first time we're seeing her this year. Went home, spent some time with her grandparents, Adeline and Steve, over the holidays. Wanted to say hello to them.
And I'm sure they're glued to the set right now, trying to cheer this shot on.
Oh.
6-pin stands on the right-hand lane.
That's 6-pin.
Both of these players have led this tournament. Both of these players have lost from the top seed position. That is not a good feeling.
That's right, and as a matter of fact, they both lost to Dana Miller Mackey.
Mm-hmm. Bumped them both off, didn't she?
Aleta lost in 1983.
And Tish in 1990. Spare up for Aleta Sill in the 5th, and she leads by 10 as we're at the halfway point.
Interesting, Aleta only used 2 balls the entire week versus Tish, who used 8. So,
Yeah, but when you're leading and you're averaging 222, why would you go into the paddock for anything else?
she obviously had no trouble with what she had. She's using Ebonite equipment. She's an Ebonite staff member, as were all the women, variety of company staff members tonight.
Feet were a little quick, but she made the adjustment at the line. There you see Aleta turn around to, well, I had to make the adjustment on the fly that time, but it worked out very nicely. And Tish kind of looks back with a smirk and says, yeah, right, you got to strike all the way.
Tish having 2 titles from number 2 seed.
Trying to get back on track. Another Brooklyn. Tish kind of ambling around, scratching her head, and it's been an unusual type of a performance for her this evening. She's been all over the road.
She's been real hot and cold, throwing great shots over and over, and then all of a sudden they're gone. There you can see inside of the 10th board, inside of her target, going left.
Well, at least her carry's good on that side. This one's inside the target as well, but it holds pocket. So Tish Johnson fighting back with a double of her own, and this match is even again.
And she's probably saying, I don't know, maybe the Brooklyns are going to carry better. I mean, great shot left that 9-pin, so. And Aleta's been working on not, she said sometimes she moves the ball too early. Ball gets there early and then she hits up too hard on it. Working on trying not to move it so early.
Good roll on that shot. 5-pin danced around. Fans appreciative of the effort, so she comes back with a double and now takes the lead by 10. Had a feeling this one would be a high-scoring affair. These two ladies averaged about 10 pins more per game than any of the other 190 participants this week.
And they were up there the entire week. Bowled well from the very beginning.
And that was the old 1-2 combination once the dust settled here.
Uh-oh. That's trouble.
That shot was left, and she is left with a washout variety.
Looked like she lost that ball. I don't think she had a real good... It fell off her hand, coming up very light, not even touching the head pin. Needs to get to the right of the head pin, just as Tish did earlier, and slide it over to the 7-pin.
Missed by a whisker. Excellent shot by Aleta Sill, but she has really given an opportunity to Tish Johnson.
And this was a great attempt at a spare conversion. It appeared that the head pin would get over to the 7, but not quite enough angle went behind it.
Last couple of shots have been aired on lane 54. And Tish is saying, what do you mean? I can't carry another Brooklyn? Boy, she is confused on lane 54.
She is now. The conditioner may be starting to dry up under the lights. Tish
Johnson trying to become the first multiple winner here in 1992. She won the opening event, the Las Vegas Western Open, 4 weeks ago.
That's right, and had made 2 other telecasts since then, attempting to win. She was saving it all for this week. If both players strike out in the 10th, 2 games in the 230s. 6 spin, falls down, so Tish Johnson has her foundation frame strike in the night. It's a critical frame. She got that ball outside of the second arrow that time, still finishing hard, so it appears that they are drying out. Get down, man. You know it. It's mine. I'm going for it. She's pumped.
Back to the top C. Cool, calm, and a strike for Aleta Sill, who seems to be enjoying herself right now, although she did leave a washout the last time on 53. $18,000 to the winner. That beautiful trophy. Second place worth $9,000. But as Jan put it in the Open, not only your peers, but all the people in the industry remembered forever if you win a United States Open Championship.
And Aleta cannot shut Tish out here. Tish is going to have an opportunity no matter. If Aleta strikes out, Tish will have to get a double.
Worst break of the week. Excellent shot. 5-pin danced around, but the 10-pin moved a half an inch and wouldn't fall. And now the momentum swings back to Tish Johnson.
You can see the ball finishing a little late. Headpin came off the wall. Actually 4 pins over there at the 10-pin, and none of them knocked it down.
So a tough break for the top seed, Aleta Sill. Who, if she strikes here, will shoot 213. That will make Tish Johnson's job a little easier in the 10th frame.
She would only need a mark and 6 pins.
But it'll have to come on the right-hand lane, a lane, Jan, that she's struggled with the last 4 shots.
And will she consider just going Brooklyn again?
Oh, boy, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. We'll have to wait and find out. Up quickly. A mark and 6 to win the Open.
She's going to go for the pocket.
Oh, you have to wonder how much fate has played a part in this one. Tish Johnson had a number of breaks, and that was a huge one there. That ball could have split very easily.
She did try to get it to the pocket. She let that ball out a little further, but wound up on the nose. Huge break. And I think that's her good luck charm. Lindsay at home staying up watching her, she said would bring her luck tonight.
Well, the hard part is done. Tish Johnson knows exactly what she needs.
She's coming
already.
Some emotions
trying to fight back the emotion. Still needs to stay behind the line and knock down 6 pins.
6 pins. Trying to hit the head pin, basically.
Just get it off your hand, and she does.
That's enough.
8's more than enough. And Tish Johnson celebrates with a hug from her good friend Aleta Sill. But Tish Johnson becomes the 1992 BPAA United States Open champion. A hug from Mom and Dad as now they've got a U.S. Open champion in the household. The final score 216 to 213. And Tish Johnson's overcome with emotion.
And there's her last shot. She's just trying to get it to the head pin, and as she did on the last shot, went very high on the nose. Knocks him out.
And Tish Johnson said this was her tournament when you talked to her earlier today.